Big news today is NVIDIA. They'll be selling their chip in China, so the stock's up 5%. Will be interesting to see. This is a Q3 thing, although they're on the weird calendar, right? So this would make their quarter. Yes, NVIDIA's up 5%, most actively traded by a margin. Morning Hawk. Open Doors up 15%. This is micro cap. ProKidney's up 12%, vacillating quite a bit there. Archer Aviation, Big Bear, a lot of these stocks are meme stocks, basically. AMD's up 5%. MP is up 11%. Weird company. AT&T down 50 bips. Haven't seen this one most actively traded in a long time. I wonder if there's news. We have so much news in Godel. It's insane. Way more than Bloomberg, and way more than any other service. Nobody else is even close. TradingView or Thinkorswim or anything like that. You're not going to get. If you're really trying to do research, you can't not have Godel at this point. Alibaba's up 6%. I started working on Wall Street when I was 16, so it's been a while. Yeah, I don't know if Baba's up because just the Chinese relationship is thawing a bit. Tesla's up 70 bips. Trade Desk's up 14%. Something must have happened there. Trade Desk is joining the S&P 500. Pipe brokers are, you mean bankers? The bankers, they take a small cut of every deal. Palantir's down 20 bips. Interestingly, none of the quantum stocks are in the most actively traded. That's a good sign for a short. Hoklow's up 1%. Oscar is really hot for some reason, down 2%. Intel's up 1%. A lot of news about some of their long-term roadmaps coming out. Beijing's up 8%. That's a lot. Oh, it also might be the China thing. Bitcoin's a weird one. I don't think you're missing anything. I think you can wait. CoreWeave's rebounding a bit. If you're looking for stuff to trade, the most list is really great because this stuff is just guaranteed to kind of be moving at least up or down, so you can position yourself accordingly. Wells Fargo and BlackRock both down 2 or 3%, as well as State Street. State Street's down 5%. What's going on there? They reported maybe weak earnings. The ETF kings, them and BlackRock at least, are pretty big in ETFs. Right, NVIDIA's traded $3 billion so far, with AMD far behind it. Tesla, Alibaba, Strategy, MP Materials, top 5, liquidity. Apple. Oh, it's a rare earths miner. Okay, so Apple wants to do $500 million. Wow. For iPhone. Lucky them. It's almost a 10 billion cap now. I haven't looked at Newegg in a while. Maybe we should look at it. Yeah, earnings coming real soon. I try not to trade options too much. Plug doesn't trade that much. It's just that it's a dollar stock. So it's easy to trade a lot of it. Trading 1 million shares of Plug's pretty easy. Trading 1 million shares of NVIDIA is not so easy. Yeah, MP is just out of control. I suppose as an American rare earth company, is that Chamath's company too? Chamath's company? Yeah, I think quantum's getting just less interesting for a lot of people. There's a lot of other stuff going on, so quantum's kind of meh. Doesn't look like it's. I didn't know if it was his or not. I thought he was big into these. I think I don't know how much he owns. He's just got his position or something. How do you become a millionaire? Just work really hard, learn a sector or a subsector really well so that you actually have some valuable expertise in it, and then sell that expertise in the form of employment. I don't think it matters what your cost basis is in a stock, and I don't think it matters how much stock you own. Completely irrelevant information. The only thing that matters is what does the future of the stock hold for you, and that's up to you. I don't know what the future of Palantir holds. I will say that, it's a great company. On Godel, you can just quickly type EM for earnings. This is my favorite function on both Bloomberg and Godel. And you can see that there's an expectation that, Palantir earns like $1 or so. So, it's kind of an expensive stock in some ways, but it is also growing rapidly. And that compounding of cash flow will catch up to the point where, they'll be earning $4 a share in cash flow or something pretty soon. And the stock will probably go to 200 or 300. I don't know if the risk reward is getting thin or not, but, it depends on what's going to happen. which we just don't know. I mean, it could be the best opportunity to buy it in a long time. I mean, or it could be terrible. It could be the top. It all depends on the company's performance going forward. Yeah, HIMS is going up without Novo. Pretty neat. Yeah, Quantum's looking a little shaky. I don't know about Nebius. I mean, playing the GPU infrastructure game is an interesting one. I have some friends in that space. I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, of course, if Palantir's growth slows, the stock will get crushed. But that's probably not what's going to happen. It depends. Per Ravlo asks a good question. Do you think Susquehanna made a mistake? I don't think so. I think they're smart. I think they know the quantum stocks aren't worth anything. But I think that for them, selling billions of dollars of vol was a really great opportunity. So they have to have a long vol kind of hedge, which they got from the company for very little. So Susquehanna is probably going to make 2 or 3 billion on this trade, is my guess. I haven't looked at Centene. I don't really know 𝗏𝗏. I assume somebody will be introducing us soon. I saw the QUBT. Let's read that press release. It was really kind of strange. Headline, let's see. For a top 5 US bank. I didn't know they had a quantum communication system. Did anybody know they had a quantum communication system? At a purchase value of $300,000. Oof. Oh, this is like the same thing that IonQ does. I love that 300K. This is the quantum internet. This is what IonQ pumps all the time. These jokers are doing it for 300K. Entangle photons in rack mountable devices. Anybody can do this. This is that little, it's on the tip of my tongue. Quantique, ID Quantique. I mean, we don't know what time frame that 300K is over. It could be over 2 years. Well, shorting is a form of value investing, in my opinion. Yeah, but it was owned by the Asians. It was owned by SK South Koreans, like SK Hynix owned it or whatever. I saw the SLS. I thought it was the other drug. And I was like, whoa, no way. And then I was like, oh, okay. It's 09. I haven't looked at Super Q. I just have been too busy. I've been really busy lately. I just don't have the time to stream. I don't follow Broadcom or anything too closely, so I really can't give you an intelligent opinion. I saw the AVXL shelf. I'm sure they'll do an offering at some point. Yeah, maybe Sarepta's bottom. That would be nice. CLS trial is something. I don't know, Silver. I mean, I'm short them, so my bad. But yeah, Barad, we are taking some. You can email me, martin@dl.software. We are getting closer to closing our seed round. We have a $5 million seed round that's not quite done yet, but it's about to be done. Yeah, the IonQ Capella thing makes no sense to me. Satellites have nothing to do with quantum. They never will. Like, it's an absurd distraction. It does give them revenue. Yeah, I don't follow QS. Air-gapped quantum security test bed within the cybersecurity quantum optics lab. What the? These banks are insane. This company doesn't even have a CEO. Oh, they have a chief revenue officer? Professional services and warranty coverage. I don't know if I should cringe or... Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about quantum computing and crypto, but I have to get my food. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, quantum key distribution doesn't need space. I mean, I don't get it. And I don't see how that's a business anyway. You know, maybe there's a government that wants it or needs it, but you know, government has programmers too. They don't necessarily need like, they have satellites. They could, if they're overcharged, they could do it themselves. Once we throw down international and this, we have a short coming. It's gonna be like a full short report we're gonna release on stock. So make sure you sign up for Goodell and you'll get access to that early before the public sees it. So check that out. I like this guy. Which stock? You want the short report that we're releasing on Goodell? You want me to tell you it now instead? I'm not playing 20 questions with you. Sign up for Goodell. We don't have Indonesia yet, and it's probably not on our priority list. It's kind of we'll eventually do it, but that's definitely less, well-known market. I personally have never traded Indonesia, for example. I don't think there are many drug companies out there. I've looked at the market from a global perspective. Sort of prefer the Philippines a little bit. I have to check what we're going to do with India. That's its own kind of world. Yeah, you do have to make deals with the local exchanges, which we're hiring for anybody that wants to be on that team. New York City only. If you're in New York City and you want to be yelled at all day by me, shoot me an email. But yeah, you gotta talk to each exchange in each country and cut little deals with all of them. New York City only. If you don't live in New York City, do not email me. Some of you aren't serious. Some of you want to play around. Go to Destiny's stream. Go to Aiden Ross's stream. Think I'm playing around here? As long as you can commute to New York, I don't care. Yeah, go meet Kevin. I was in the office till midnight last night, so I'm about to go to the office in another hour. I swear to God, if you ever criticize me again, any of you, yeah, Ultragenics is a bit of a disaster. AMD's up, CoreWeave's up, Supermicro's up a lot. Yeah, I don't use macros. I probably could or should. The Taiwanese US ADR arbitrage sounds pretty interesting. You got to get a handle on the currency. Capper's still a short. Capper is all cap. Yeah, Newegg was kind of like Chegg last I looked at it. Yeah, I think down 2% since right now it's 0 on break even. I forgot what the challenge portfolio start date was, like April 2nd or May 2nd, I forgot. It's been 3 months, I think, so April. I've not looked at ATRA. Oh, I looked at Nerdy. Was that Nerd Wallet? Newegg is different. Okay, Newegg sales dropped somewhat dramatically, 17%. That's a lot. Gross margin, tiny. I guess that's why their prices are so good. Gross margin's like 11%. How do you make a business on 11% gross margin? Cash flow's break even. This is like, it reminds me of Chegg. No, hold on. Yeah, cash flow's roughly break even. They do have CapEx. I don't know if they run their own servers or what. I don't know. Seems somewhat interesting. They have no debt. Break even. A lot of revenue. I don't think they have stores. Does Newegg have stores? Oh, okay. They did a guidance update today, and they're saying they're be positive EBITDA. That's not bad. Yeah, no real reason to own Newegg, but I don't think it's a short. It has potential. Did you guys see Jesse Brodkin's Anavex thing? Yeah, so Jesse is the guy who got into the lawsuits with 𝗀𝗢𝗏. He was like the first guy to really expose 𝗀𝗏𝗏. And yeah, so he wrote a letter to the editor on that phase 2. Remember when the phase 2 was published for Anavex, and I was like, this is like a kind of a stupid thing. And Jesse actually wrote a specific thing for it. I got a little kitty here. Yes, I do. I got a little kitty. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Watch out, my little kitty. I love you. It's my little kitty. Boop, boop, boop. It'll collapse soon, don't worry. IonQ's days are numbered. Yeah, AVXL is kind of a 0. No more billionaires, I agree. Lock the doors. Pull up the ladder. Sarepta's gonna take forever. Yeah, it's a challenge account that we started to see how much money we could make. We took a survey. I mean, they have revenue. The revenue trend seems to be in their favor. I don't see why it would be a short. I mean, it looks like their business results are improving somewhat. Did you see their SEC filing? It's finally starting to crack. It sounds like Immune will be $1 soon. Let the baby paper trade. Nah, that baby's getting a college account. Are you crazy? Immediately. I would not short NVIDIA here. I would not short it there. I would not short it anywhere. I don't know, Money Mastery. I think a lot of times shorts have to cover. That's part of the process. Markets are not that efficient immediately, right? They take a little bit of time. Yeah, Bitcoin is better than investing. I agree. which is a glutton for punishment. NVIDIA Taiwan semi pair trade? I don't know. Maybe. I would have to look at that a little bit. You can't differentiate between buys and sells. Of course not. That's what time and sales is. It's a trade. There's both buy and sell. Do you guys know of any online, any web platform that does time and sales? Where do you pull up trading views, time and sales? Key stats. Lily News. Look at this Lily News. This is the cringiest thing in the world. Oh my God. So no trading view, time and sales? Trading view, time and sales. Doesn't look like it. They have a thing that's like scrapes it or mimics it. It's not it. Yeah, no one has more news than us. It depends on how it fails, maybe. I mean, most of the time, these biotech companies meander around cash value. They do a reverse merger. They never really die. They never go to zero. That's why there's so many of them, and so many of them trade below cash. That's like, a supply problem. Way too many crappy, crummy biotechs lurking around. CoreWeave up 9%. But most of the rest of everything's kind of, other than NVIDIA and CoreWeave, are kind of weak. Yeah, I see QBTS is up a tiny bit. Farcoin even. There's definitely some stocks that are doing all right. Let's look at Resolute. Mag 7, I kind of like NVIDIA. I don't see how they ever stop. I haven't really looked into UNH since they abandoned their guidance. AI in a bubble, it's a good question. I mean, it's not really clear. Revenue is going up for the AI companies. It's pretty... I think my son will go to MIT. I'm going to be very proud of him. He's going to be the first baby to go to MIT. Yeah, he might not go to college at all, depending on how colleges change, but MIT is quite good, so... Oh, I'm riding till the wheels fall off on most of these quantum shorts. I still have to write a book on quantum or something like that. It would be fun. I don't think I'm going to have the time, but it would be kind of cool to do. Like this other kind of crypto project I've been working on. I think college is good if you're at the upper tier, upper echelon, doing research with professors and like that. But if you're just like stumbling into lecture hall, taking an econ class, meh. But remember, 95% of the world has to be normal, okay? This live stream, everything I do online, it's for the other 5%. I'm doing something that I've never really done on blockchain before. I'm looking for an affine relationship between key signatures. Well, just because you watch doesn't mean you're the 5%. Yes, so these are affine relationships between signatures where the R value is exposed. So you're trying to find affine relationships between the R value. I just say linear relationships, but mathematicians like the word affine. I don't know if quantum's going to pop the Bitcoin bubble. It's hard to say. It's really funny, though, when people like Saylor say Bitcoin's the hardest money in the world or something like that. I'm not sure that's true, my G. Circle's a weird one. I think it's probably overvalued. Rodman says he met Satoshi. I love it. Claude for financial analysis, huh? Oh, financial services. Yeah, I'm skeptical. Only at AWS Marketplace? Yeah, of course, invest outside the US. That's why we have our Godel international data coming in very soon. Although I've been waiting a very long time. I think, try to do your work. If there's a bottleneck with busy work, you can certainly automate it. But, software, writing your own software is great, for little things, but I wouldn't overthink it. I'm not bullish or bearish on him. There's not enough information. I just don't know what to do there. Grok's good and Claude's good. They're all pretty good, to be honest. Sign up, godelterminal.com. If you support this stream, that's how you support me. Bad time to be a shorter. Let me guess, you're not a professional investor. You're a stay-at-home trader. Let me guess, Robinhood? You on the hood, buddy? Yeah, Microsoft's quantum initiatives have been kind of under siege in a way. Look, I like Sarepta. I don't think you have to go all in. I don't think it matters how much money you have to invest in the stock market. I think it matters how much time do you have. But, you know, the amount of money probably matters a bit too. Uber Eats is almost bigger than Uber. And when IonQ's $5, I'm going to laugh. You guys really thought this was going to be something. We're going to squeeze you, bud. And I am he who cannot be squeezed. I stare death right in the eyes. I pick up the margin call and say, so what? So what? Do something. We don't bend, we don't break. I've been looking at Uber for 30 seconds. The guy goes, so long, Uber? I am happy that, you know, Buffett said, you know, growing up in America is like gift. You know, it's a real big gift that you can get when, you know, you may have been, you know, grown up in any other country in the world, right? But you grew up here, and that's a blessing. And the fact that you grew up in a home with two parents, or in a home that talked about the stock market or something like that, that's a huge gift. So even if you give that to your child or something, you know, that's a great thing. You know, staying involved in your kid's life. I mean, it matters so much. So your kid doesn't end up worrying about Treyway. You know, everybody just wants love and companionship and to be accepted. And so the urban inner youth, you know, they're sort of going to these gangs because that's where they're going to get love and acceptance from. They're not getting it at home. Like that lady we saw on the subway. Who was her parents? Well, I shouldn't say anything. She's going to find me, track me down. I apologize to that lady in advance. I don't want her to get the box cutter out on me. But yeah, I think that, you know, having it so that like you could just see company press releases only. Maybe we make that a statement like PR. I think that'd be a good function because, you know, you have to sort through all the news, which is, you know, ideal, you know, not ideal. Yeah, don't go all in on anything. I mean, if you're going all in on something, you must not have a lot of money anyway, so. But it's not going to be the way you make any money either. Unless, you know, I mean, if you're all in on a stock that you work for the company, that makes sense. You believe in the company. But if you're all in on some stock and you don't really know what it is, yeah, you're just gambling. I mean, you have your employment tied up with the company and you've got your whole investment life tied up with the company. On one hand, it's very risky. On the other hand, it's how you get rich. But I hear you. I hear you. It all depends on your attitude. You know, if you kind of don't care anyway, and it's just easier for you to just say, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, if you don't, once you work at a startup and you get startup stock for free, I mean, typically that's going to be the bulk of your wealth if you're a young person. Assuming the startup amounts to anything, it can definitely play out badly. That's for sure. Especially if you start putting your own, what I've seen is people make money from some career. Let's say they work at Amgen. They make $5 million, a nice executive, right? And then, and they quit, join a startup and invest in the startup, and the startup drops. That's the real scary thing. But, you know, you reap what you sow. I mean, it's really up to you to decide what, you know, what you want. Some people are risk averse. Some people are very risk tolerant. Depends on your age. I do think anytime you feel like whatever you're doing is gambling, you know, you should stop. If you're getting excited, you know, you're like getting a little rush, that's not good. You know, you got to make your decisions slowly and soberly. Don't try to get excited or get your heart rate going. You know, if you're chasing that feeling, you're really not investing. You're going to lose all your money. Yep, lots of doctors do lose all their money on biotech stocks. That is true. Oh, I have to ask my doctor what pick I gave him. I forgot. I think it was farming. Yeah, so basically the question is, will Uber get killed by Waymo and Tesla? But I think they're going to partner with Tesla too, right? Right, they're partnering with Waymo. That's right. Tesla doesn't need a partner. Vertical integration, yeah. IonQ down 3%. Love to see it.